Hey YouTube. Well, it's still raining, and we sent Carmine on his way yesterday. He's at home now. The other thing I'd like to say is I really appreciate all of your comments. I'm not going to answer them all online. It's just too many. But the nice thing about it is that you guys recognized that I was trying to teach this young man something, give him some, hope for his future, and at the same time get some work done around here. And you guys that sent comments backing that up and backing up my words to him made this really easy for me to be able to do. I mean, you know how kids are today. You try to talk to them and they hear one thing and nothing else. So hearing me say stuff and then hearing it from you guys backing me up, and I really appreciate the backup. I really thank you guys for that, and there's a whole bunch of yous out there, so thank you very much for saying that. So now we got to get back to work, and since the apprentice is gone, the boss decided that she's going to cut some wood because she got an order this morning.
Hey YouTube. Since our apprentice is gone, he was worried that the work that still needed doing would not be done. But I assure you, age is not a deterrent at this job. What we have here is an 11-inch log. So with a little skill, we will get an 8-inch cant. Just so you know, this is an 8-foot 3-inch log. I have a helper here, and I hope he'll be able to turn this log. Well, looks like he got it. Our first cut gave us a nice 8-inch surface. This next cut will give us a nice start for an 8-inch cant. Just so you know, before we do anything, we checked with our super scanner for any nails. Turn the cut even with the backstop.
Yes, boss.
Help is just not what it used to be. My slow helper turn it one more time, and now we're going to get an 8-inch cant. I want you guys to see how beautiful our white pine is.
Like these taking 2x6s out of there now. Or 2x8s, I ought to say. 2x8.
I have an order for a couple of 2x8s, and that's what we'll get out of this log. Well guys, we got 4 nice 2x8s here, but we got lots more to cut yet. Have a good one, and don't forget to write whatever comments and subscribe if you would.
I don't know why I don't get to run the sawmill anymore. All I do is the cleanup. Well guys, if you didn't guess, my wife and I were trying to have a little bit of fun this morning because, you know, Carmine leaving was tough on all of us. So, we're just trying to get a couple things done and, you know, keep going. So, what we did here this morning was we do have an order for 2x8s. But I'm not going to give the ones that are this wet. I have 2x8s cut on the pile, and what I'll do is I'll deliver those and I'll keep these to dry out. Tell you one thing though, this white pine that we have around here certainly is beautiful. This is a really nice log here, or wood here. It does have a lot of sap in it at the moment. It's not real bad, but pretty much. So like I say, I'm going to put this on my drying pile, and I'll deliver 2x8s that I've already cut from a previous log. Also, this morning I had a little problem here. I guess I got used to somebody watching me when I run the hoe, and what happened was when I laid a log on here, I grabbed the hole of the bunk and I went to move the machine and I picked up on it and I broke a couple lag bolts, which I'm glad that that's all it was. So I'm going to be replacing them today as well. I'll show you that once I get started. Okay guys, so what actually happened here was I had the log tongs on the backhoe or in the loader bucket, and I actually had the log on. I set the tongs on the side and they grabbed the hole of one of the straps there for a loading skid right up in here, and I pulled up on the thing pretty hard on the frame, and it broke one of the bolts, which I'm glad that it did break a bolt rather than bend the frame. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to just check these lag bolts, and if any aren't in or loose, like you can see that one pulled out right there, I think you can see that. Let me zoom in there a little. Yeah, that one pulled out. So what I'm going to do is replace these, drill new holes if I have to, so that you know, the Woodmizer is as solid as I've always had it. I like it solid because I get nice cuts because of that. So I'll show you what I do after I start here. I got a, in case you're wondering as far as tools, I got the drill. I got a good electric drill rather than a battery operated. I have a bunch of lag screws and the bits I need to drill the metal plate if I have to, plus drill a little bit into the wood to give me a good start, and then a socket driver to drive the screw in. So what I'm doing here is, guys call these Christmas tree bits because they're shaped like a tree, or step drill is the right name for them. So I'm just drilling through the metal so that I get the size hole I need for this. But then I'm going to change to a smaller bit. I think I'll get another drill so I don't have to be changing bits. I'm going to change to another smaller bit just to give the lag screw something to, you know, start into. Because if you try and force the lag screw right into the wood like that, you're liable to split it. And I don't want to split the wood because you lose the holding power. Okay, so I took the one lag screw I had in there out, and it wasn't bent, it just pulled out of the wood. And you can see it's about a 1/4 inch size. And I have some 3/8 inch size here that I'm going to replace it with. But in order to get that in there, I need to make the steel part of this slightly bigger. So I'm going to use this drill to do it. One thing I don't like about these legs is they're really hard to drill into, or even to set something in, because they're not much bigger than what this bracket is, so you got to have the drill on an angle to actually do some drilling. Okay, so also guys, those step drills from Harbor Freight, I've never bought step drills anywhere else but Harbor Freight, and I'll tell you what, they do a good job. They're very sharp. When I was building my truck frame, I used step drills a lot, and I was surprised how well they last. The shank though of the drill is not actually as good as the rest of the drill. For some reason I twisted one of these shanks right off with a Milwaukee drill. So I'm just saying, you know, if you want to buy some step drills, seems like the place to buy them for a good price is Harbor Freight. And like I say, they do cut. Milwaukee drill has a lot of torque. So these are 3/8 inch size now instead of the 1/4 inch size. A little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and that's what I'm going to put on the rest of the bunk here, on the bunk frame, or the legs I should say, I guess. if you look here, you can see that the foot is flat in the middle, but it curves up. They probably did that so it wouldn't hang on to anything if you were dragging it somewhere. I don't really care for that. I would have rather if it was flat, but anyway, if you drill into the hole that comes with the Woodmizer, you're on that bent surface. So I'd rather be on a flat surface, so that's why I'm drilling the holes where I am. But again, you can see that this bolt is a little crooked because I can't get in here straight anyhow. I'd have to take this off to drill a straight hole, but I really still can't drive the bolt in perfectly straight because of how close I am to this frame. So I'm going with this route. This section, this 80-inch section from here down, now has all new bolts in it, so I'm going to move up to the next section here and take care of that. appreciate the brackets are made out of heavy metal, but man, trying to drill these without taking them off is really a bit of a nuisance. But I'm not taking them off. That's just too much work for what I'm trying to do here. You know you're getting old when the drill that you've used for 20 years or 30 years, you can't hold it anymore because it's too tough for you. This is part of the territory. Because there's a seam here, I want to try and get this bit to go the other way. The bolt, I mean. Went a little more yet. That's it. Now this one up here just so happens that the previous hole that they drilled is, let me just show you this. This one here, the previous hole, excuse the camera guys. Yeah, the previous hole on this one here that they drilled is out here, so I can get at that fairly easy, so I'm just drilling to that hole. You can see the drill bits hitting here. There's no way for me to get this drill straight up and down. Like I say, I could do it if I took this plate off, the metal plate, but I don't want to do that. When I was drilling this piece, I came out the edge of it, so I decided to drill a new hole more towards the middle. Not only that, I noticed that the leg was a little bit loose, just a hair. So I took this big pressure wrench you see laying there, and I adjusted that leg a little bit. I don't want to pre-drill that. One thing nice about these battery operated drills with the hand chuck is that They're easy to use and they don't hold too bad. But when you're really pulling on stuff, the chuck won't hold you in there. That's why I like using the chuck on the Milwaukee drill. Okay, 2 more and that job is done. I'm going to move the saw head this way a little bit so I can work there. One there and one on this side, and then it'll be finished. Oh, this weather is something else. You know, no sooner did we get done with that cutting that pine this morning, and we had to cut 2 other logs besides the one you saw. No sooner did we get done with that when it started to rain. So then the sun came out, we went in and had lunch, and now it's around, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and here we go with another bout of rain coming. You can see the ground there. I don't know if you can see it, it's starting to get wet. Drops hitting it. It's been just crazy, this weather. I never seen so much rain before. Okay guys, so that's number 11 there. And this is number 12, which is the last one. So in every 80-inch section, there's 4 legs, as well as 4, or in every 80-inch section of track and bunk, there's 4 legs. So this is the last one that I have to put another bolt in to hold it down. Then it'll be in good shape. Okay, good and tight. Now, we shouldn't have any trouble with this now. Besides, the trouble was my own. I'll have you take a look across the top of this, and for straightness, you can eyeball this at this point. If you look at the edges there, I'm talking about the edges of the bunk right here. You can see how they all line up as you lower the camera. Same thing with the side here. When you bring it over, they're all in line with one another. You can look down this edge here and see that as well. Of course, in here the saw head's not in the way right there. So that's another little bit of maintenance item. Of course, I caused that myself. I only can't be perfect. Try to be, but it doesn't always happen. So anyway guys, have a good one. Glad you were watching today. And sorry I didn't get videos up sooner before, but we had some things that I needed to do. We got a nice straight bunk here, all fastened down again. I think the one thing I want to do yet is I have screws like these bottom cribbing here. That's bolted down with all thread that goes into the concrete. But this stuff over here has screws in it. I think I'd like to take and put angle irons in there yet, just to make sure this thing is gonna not give me any trouble. It hasn't, and it's my fault that I pulled up on the bolts and pulled the screws out when I grabbed a hold of it. But the good thing is it didn't bend anything or anything on the mill, so just broke the 2 screw heads. Alright guys, have a good one. Bye. Don't get wet. Well guys, as you can see, it's like 5 minutes after it was just sunny out and it's raining again.